Every day, hundreds of undocumented citizens go to Northern Virginia where they stand before a judge, an immigration judge, and plea for asylum. Last Thursday, the Times-Dispatch went and sat in on one of these courtrooms. It's a special courtroom that hears cases of kids, sometimes as young as toddlers. A lot of these kids have come to the US by themselves. They don't speak English, and most of the time they don't have a lawyer to help them navigate the process. It's a part of the immigration system that doesn't get a lot of attention. While the Trump administration has been focused on deporting suspected gang members and violent criminals, we know from our reporting that they're also focusing on what goes on in these courtrooms with these kids. Since 2008, Congress has had a law in the books saying that the federal government has to pay for the lawyers for these children because they can't pay for themselves. But in March, the Trump administration sent out a memo telling every nonprofit pro bono lawyer that works for the government for these children to stop what they're doing because the government was no longer going to pay their fees. Lawyers who represent these kids say the decision could have catastrophic consequences. They ask us to imagine a courtroom with a 7-year-old kid before a judge and a prosecutor, and ask us to really think if that 7-year-old kid could defend themselves or advocate for themselves, or maybe even explain why it was that they fled their home country. Meanwhile, the Trump administration takes the position that this is a contract just like any other contract, and that they shouldn't have to foot the bill for these nonprofit lawyers to represent these children. By stopping these payments, they're also cutting off a lifeline to these law firms because children can't be expected to pay for themselves. And without that federal payment, many of these firms will probably shut down.